So you are all finished with block 1 of potty training using the Oh Crap Potty Training Method, and you are ready to move on to block 2? If so, this is the video for you. In this video, I'm going to walk you through all the different steps and also some possible pain points you might encounter in block 2 of the Oh Crap Potty Training Method. If you're new here, hello and welcome. My name is Jenny, certified teacher, doctoral student, and mom to 2 girls, Alice, who is my 2-year-old, and Mina, who is my 10-month-old. And in this video, I'm actually going to walk you through exactly the steps that I took going through block 2 of the Oh Crap Potty Training Method. I'm going to be very methodical about how I lay this out for you. I'm going to go over what the goal is, different areas to practice, how to do it, and possible pain points. So let's go ahead and get right into it. The goal for block 2 is with or without prompting, your toddler should be able to pee and poop in the potty with clothes on. Now the big difference between block 2 and block 3, which is next, is there are no underwear in this block. So this is commando basically. You can put pants on your child if you have a child that wears dresses. You can put a dress on your child. Anything that's not underwear is fair game for block 2. Let me also mention too that you don't want to rush to block 2 because you will find that you come into a lot of problems in block 2 if you haven't mastered block 1. So I will link my video up above for how to go through block 1, which is completely naked, being able to, with or without prompting, pee and poop on the potty. Okay, so for block 2, you are going to add in pants or shorts or dresses. For girls, I find that this is pretty easy to do with dresses. However, I do think it's important to make sure that you're using shorts or pants at some point as well so that your child can get some practice and actually pushing down shorts or pants. You're going to be in block 2 for actually about a month. They recommend in the book to wait about a month in block 2 while commando to make sure that your child has got it down, because this is the block that tends to frustrate and make parents quit the most. It's also recommended you use some loose elastic pants or shorts in order to allow your child the best possible chance of getting those down before they have accidents. Remember, this is only pants and shorts, no underwear. The rationale behind this is that underwear feels too similar to actual diapers, and we're trying to get away from that feeling until your child really has down potty training, and then we'll introduce underwear. So one of the first things I did in this phase is I simply put some loose fitting pants onto Alice, and I said, okay Alice, now when you need to use the potty, you let me know and we'll push down your pants. I use the language push down instead of pull down because toddlers are pretty literal and you want to make sure they understand the actual motion that you're asking them to do. So you're not actually asking them to pull it down, you're asking them to kind of push down their pants. Probably within about the first 30 minutes, Alice had an accident in the pants, and that is very common because it is something that is a new sensation. They feel things on their legs again when they're not used to that, having been completely naked for the first block, and so you will have some accidents early on. Make a plan to have lots of spare pants and shorts, not only for your toddler, but also for you. Alice was sitting in my lap when she had her first accident, and so I had to change my pants out, but again, not a big deal. When that happens, you'll want to make a note of calling attention to it. You'll say, oh, Alice, you pee-peed in your pants. Remember, we have to push down pants before we use the potty. Come on, let's go change your pants and clean up the accident. I didn't say it's okay, it's not okay, but I also didn't blame her for anything. I'm not mad at her, I'm just explaining this new step of potty training. One of the biggest issues with this block is that your child is not able to manipulate their own clothing. So I would highly, highly recommend making sure that that's something you've already practiced if you're at this point. If your child is unable to push down pants or underwear, you're kind of setting them up for failure because they can't do what you're asking them to do. I find sizing up in shorts and getting really loose fitting shorts is a really good way to go about this, and it's also something that your toddler can probably hook their thumbs into and just push down. I always will help Alice too if she needs assistance with pushing down her pants, but you want to make sure they're able to do most of it on their own. Let me say again too that this phase of potty training is the hardest. You're going to start seeing things in this phase that you never had to deal with in block 1, such as tantrums and power struggles.
Hey Alice, I have a question. Yes, I have a question. Where is your potty? You don't have to go. Where is it?
These are very common in the second block because then the toddler's realizing, oh hey, this is not going anywhere, this is permanent, and now I have to do this all the time. Make sure you are not feeding in to any of those power struggles. They need to be shut down, whether that's walking away. Most toddlers don't have a tantrum in an empty room. I personally, this is just my own anecdotal advice, I like to acknowledge the feeling that they're having and then just kind of move on with my day. So I'll say, oh Alice, I see that you're very sad because you're tired of using the potty, but from now on we pee-pee and we poo-poo in the potty. I know you're very sad about that. Would you like a hug? That's kind of how I deal with that. And I mean, sometimes she'll say, no hugs. And that's okay. All I'm showing her is I understand why you're upset. And it's okay to be upset, but this is still how it's gonna be. Make sure too you're not over prompting your child. A lot of those power struggles kind of come into play in this phase because there's a lot of pressure on the child from the parent. And I was guilty of that to start with. I really had to kind of retrain my brain to back off a little bit and know that I'm offering that the potty is there if you need it, but otherwise I'm gonna trust you, and if you have an accident, we'll just clean it up. It's not the end of the world. Pee is sterile, not the end of the world. Something else you might encounter that I did have a brief phase of myself is I found that my toddler wound up pooping most of the time in her diaper at nap time and at bedtime. And then she would wake up with poop in her diaper. If that is something you encounter, it is not uncommon, and it's something that you might they may just need a different space to poop. It's kind of like they're looking for privacy in order to do that. And so if you have a potty just, you know, like sitting out in the middle of the kitchen like I normally do, it might not be the right avenue for them to use the potty. So think about trying to move the potty into a place that's a little bit quieter, or maybe even ask your toddler, say like, here's your potty, where would you like me to put your potty in this room? And let them give feedback to you on where they want the potty. But really the main piece of advice I have for this phase is to just keep going. You are in the hardest block of potty training. And if you can make it through this block, then you've basically made it through potty training. Don't be overly pressuring on your child. Know that if you are doing nighttime training later, that's completely fine. That's what we're doing. And know that doing laundry is fine. If they have accidents, it's fine, and you will get through this part. If they figured out how to master block 1, they will figure out how to master block 2. I also highly recommend going by what the book says and really sticking to block 2 for about a month of time. This is what we did, and we had no problem whatsoever transitioning to block 3. So I want to emphasize just how important it is to spend a lot of time on block 2, where your child is able to start understanding the feeling of cloth around their nether regions without it being underwear and without using the bathroom in it. Because then, once you actually introduce that underwear, it's going to make the world of a difference, and you're not going to have as many accidents in the underwear. One other piece of advice and a note from the book that they suggest is do away with training pants. Training pants, for all intents and purposes, feel just like a diaper on a child, so those do not count. You can't use them. She really recommends just using shorts or pants or dresses for girls. But like I said, for me personally, I feel that it's important to do shorts or pants even with girls because of the fact that A, they should be able to manipulate their own clothing, and B, obviously you can't have your child running around without any bottoms on in public. One other tip or strategy that you can use to get your child to go to the restroom when you want them to try is use toys. You can get a toy and you could say, oh hey Alice, can you show Mr. Bear how to sit on the potty? Wow Alice, that's awesome. Can you show Mr. Bear how to push down his pants? Mr. Bear is wearing pants, see right here? Can you show Mr. Bear how you push down pants? Using toys to model things really gets your child kind of invested in what's happening, and they feel like they're showing something off instead of being told by you what to do. So that's another strategy that I like to use in order to get Alice to use the potty or to go to the potty. Or I'll even sometimes bring the toddler potty that Alice is not using, and I'll sit Mr. Bear down on it, and then Alice's potty will be right there. And I'll say, oh Alice, Mr. Bear's just now starting to use the potty. Can you show Mr. Bear how to use the big girl potty over there? So that's just kind of like one of those tips for if your child is really being particularly defiant at this phase. If you feel like this is definitely a stage that you want to give up and you feel like you're gonna give up, I want to remind you of one thing. It's a really great quote from the book, and I really wanted to just read this particular quote because it really resonated with me when I was actually going through the potty training process for block 2. If your child is capable of fighting for something she wants, she's more than ready for potty training. That quote really stuck with me, and I want you to remember it as you continue along this block 2 journey. I really hope this was helpful for you, and if you have any questions, we did go through this very recently, and I'm happy to answer whatever it is that I can, but I also definitely recommend you check out the book itself. I will link it down below, and I will see you next time. Take care.